The road to WrestleMania is finally upon us, so you know I gotta hit you guys with one final universe mode setup guide to make sure everything's updated in case you want to have one last universe mode run before 2K26. Let's go ahead and hop into it. Let's go ahead and start off with the calendar, as in May you'll have Backlash to start it out in that first week of May. Then in June you have Money in the Bank at the beginning of the month, and then you end it with your King Queen of the Ring. There's two ways to do it. One, just use the in-game King and Queen of the Ring where the entire tournament will be in one night. Or you could do the Night of Champions route, download Night of Champions from Community Creations, and in your weeks leading up to it, you'll do your King and Queen of the Ring tournament with your finals being on that night, along with whatever PLE matches you want. So go in-game route or the realistic real-life route with it, either one works. And then in July, you're going to have Saturday Night's Main Event and Evolution on that second weekend. Then over in August, you're going to start with SummerSlam and then have Clash at the Castle. In September, it's going to be WrestlePalooza. October, second Saturday will be Crown Jewel. November, you start with Saturday Night's Main Event, end with Survivor Series War Games, and then for December, you finish it with Saturday Night's Main Event before heading into real-life WrestleMania season, where we're going to have the Royal Rumble be at the end of January instead of start of February, just to keep it nice and clean for your in-game universe mode. Same thing for Elimination Chamber. I believe it's in March in real life once again this year, but we're going to keep it at the end of February just because it's better at Sim. And then nothing in March, and you start with WrestleMania to begin April. Now the calendar out of the way, let's go ahead and look at our match cards for both Raw, SmackDown, and PLEs. Starting with Raw and SmackDown, it's going to be the same for both weekly shows. You want 7 matches, as this is honestly the perfect number, whether you're booking everything or whether you're not booking anything at all and just playing out whatever the game gives you, because it automatically will give you probably anywhere from 5 to 6 matches or 1 to 2 promos combined. There's a good mix, not a perfect mix to real life, but a good mix overall. And if you're booking, it allows you to have enough room to have your matches and segments within it. So the custom match table, once again, this is going to be the same for Raw and SmackDown. A lot of 1v1s, we're going to get some 2v2s. What I like to do is add in a low chance for triple threats, fatal 4-ways, 6-way tags, and these 1v1 Extreme Rules matches to kind of mix things up. You're not going to get a whole bunch of them, but you might get one or the other every single week to really add in just a little bit of difference to make your shows unique week to week. But one thing that really keep it realistic, what I do is I have backstage brawls. So if you notice from my last setup video, I dropped this, I believe, from 30% to 28, and I upped Extreme Rules from 2 to 3, just to keep it a little more realistic. Because the one thing I love is backstage brawls happen pretty much week to week in real life, add more of a segment, but in this case you can use it that way. But the annoying thing is base game backstage brawls are not showing up at all. But to add them in your match card, it makes it feel a lot more realistic to real life WWE. So go ahead and do that. Make sure, remember, this is also for SmackDown as well, so copy it down for your SmackDown show as well. Now let's go ahead and check out the PLE match cards. So for Backlash, we'll go ahead and check this one out. I have 6 matches for this card. For the match table, I made some small changes. Not a whole lot of stuff going on, not a lot of stipulations. It's one of those low-key B-level PLEs right after Mania, so you want to keep it pretty simple. Over to Money in the Bank, I did not change anything. It's already set up perfectly. And the same goes for King and Queen of the Ring. No matter what you choose for which way you want to do it, it will work out perfectly with the base settings. Over in July, Saturday's Main Event and Evolution. I love Saturday's Main Event as is, but Evolution, we're going to go ahead and take a look at what I set for it. 6 matches, and then the match table. I wanted to make it unique. You show off a lot of different women in these PLEs, so I have triple threats, fatal 4-ways, 6-ways, some stipulation stuff. Really just want to mix it up because that's really how the PLE for Evolution is. You mix it up, show off as many women as possible, championship matches, non-championship matches, all that fun stuff. Heading over to SummerSlam, I go ahead and make it 6 matches because it's 2 nights. So 6 matches for your first night, we'll then give you another 6 matches for your second night, 12 matches overall. For the match table, I did make some changes, not a whole lot. The one cool thing I added, which isn't realistic to real life, but just keep it fun, is an 8 superstar 4-way tag match for titles. Also add triple threats, fatal 4-ways, Extreme Rules, that kind of thing, just to mix it up. A little crazy with it, not over the top, but pretty fairly realistic to what SummerSlam should be. Then over at Clash in the Castle, went ahead and made this 6 matches for your PLE. The custom match table, it didn't feel right. Steel Cage was way too high on the base setting. I put it at 7, and then I added some triple threats, Extreme Rules, just to keep it a little bit different, but not too over the top for this PLE. Heading over to WrestlePalooza, I did make some changes to it. 6 matches right off the bat, and then the custom match table, I made some changes here. No holds barred there, dropped that, but it's not a crazy PLE. It was pretty simple overall, so I made it like that in game. Head over to Crown Jewel. I don't believe I edited this one. Oh, I did a little bit. Okay, let's take a look. Oh yeah, I dropped 6 superstar down a little bit, and I added steel cages and false count anywhere just to mix it up a little bit. Not high chances, but maybe you'll get one of these, make it a little more fun, that kind of thing. Now, I did not touch any of these. It's already a good base game, and same goes for Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. WrestleMania I did not touch only because it changes every single year. Drop this to 7 matches, so we have 14 total. I just left this base game for now. I've not made my personal changes, but in real life it changes every time year to year, so don't be afraid to add anything you want. If you want a ladder match, add a ladder match. If you want a triple threat, Hell in a Cell, add that. It's really up to whatever you want, as there's no year to year same matches, so it doesn't really make sense to go ahead put down whatever I want for it, because it should be whatever makes sense for your universe mode, what makes sense for your stories, and what you want. So go ahead and make whatever changes you want to however you want your WrestleMania to play out with different types of matches and stipulations. Go ahead and have fun with it. This should be up to you. Also, if you guys have been enjoying this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It would mean a whole lot. Now let's continue on with this setup guide. Now we have the setup for Raw, SmackDown, and all those PLEs and calendars done. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rosters for both Raw and SmackDown. So basically, I have a philosophy where basically injured superstars I will keep active on my rosters. It's a little unrealistic to real life, obviously. If you want this for realism, then don't go ahead and add them. But to be honest, some divisions feel a little bit weak, and overall the rosters might not feel as filled out if those injured superstars are not included. So for my own fun, I keep them on, even if, that goes away from realism a little bit. That's one of the things I like to do that you don't have to do. Obviously, play the game you want. There's also some superstars. We just passed Jimmy Uso on Raw. I have on both Raw and SmackDown. Same thing goes for people. Maybe you have Roman Reigns on both Raw and SmackDown. A lot of people started showing up recently with Survivor Series and even before that on both brands. It's really hard to say which ones they really associate with. And WWE.com is really just not even updated to begin with. So it's hard to pick for some superstars. So if you don't feel the same way about me having like Jimmy Uso on both Raw and SmackDown, just put on one brand that you think makes the most sense. Things like that. As at the end of the day, we're going to have differences on those types of things. It really comes down to how much fun you have doing certain things, keeping it realistic, keeping it more fun, filled out rosters versus not filled out rosters, that kind of thing. So go ahead and play the game how you want. This is kind of how I set up my rosters. It's not perfect. I don't claim it to be. I just think it's the best overall setup for a lot of fun having filled out rosters. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look at our champions in divisions. Obviously, CM Punk is the world champion. You have Gunther, Jey Uso, Roman, Seth, LA Knight, Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker, and Logan Paul as your contenders. Honestly, in real life, obviously, you're not going to see Brock go after the title right now. Logan Paul might not even get a shot with Braun Breaker, but I keep him in there just to keep it filled out. Then for the IC, obviously, Dom is once again your IC champ. Then I fill out with Sheamus, Jimmy, Penta. Bronson Reed's a questionable one just because it feels like he should go after a world title as well, especially after pushing him so much after that win over Roman Reigns. But I think it makes the most sense to keep him in here for now. Then for the tag division, a lot of names you'd expect. It's basically the base game. You have to make AJ Styles and Dragon Lee a tag team to be able to assign them the world titles, or the world tag titles. So go ahead and make sure they're a tag team as well. And then Stephanie Vaquer is your women's world champion. Io and Rhea, I don't have as a tag team, even though they are in real life. I just think if you keep them as a tag team, it really makes the division not as filled out with just Liv and now Becky. So that's why I keep it the way I do. Then for the tag divisions, you have Raquel and Roxanne, so Judgment Day, and then Bayley and Lyra. I don't think this tag team is going to last long, but for now, I'll just keep them in the tag team just to keep at least a little bit filled out. Then for the women's IC, Maxine's your champion, obviously. Ivy Nile, Nikki Bella. I have AJ Lee here for now, but you could probably move her to the women's world title scene. Natalya and Zoe start to fill that out. With that, let's go over the SmackDown side. So over on SmackDown, Cody is obviously your WWE champion. Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, and Jacob Fatu over here. Honestly, it could even make sense to drop Damian Priest down to the US title, as I feel like that's kind of the direction they're going to eventually go with him. Then Ilya is obviously still your US champion. You have Shinsuke, Jimmy, Carlo Hayes, The Miz, Aleister Black, even though right now he is feuding a little bit with Cody Rhodes, but I'm going to keep him here because he's definitely not going to take the title off him. Santos, Apollo Crews, Solo, and R-Truth. Over the tag side, the Wyatt Six are your champions. You have to edit their team to change them from trios to tag teams to be able to give them the titles. I don't know why the game set it as is, but that is how it works, unfortunately. So you have to make that change on your own. And besides that, all of your base game tag teams are already going to be listed, so you don't have to make any changes there. Then Jade Cargill is your women's WWE champion. I have Tiffany, Nia, Naomi, and Bianca as the contenders. And for the tags, I made Alba and Piper a tag team, even though Piper is out for probably a long time. And then Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. For the women's US, Chelsea is once again your US champion. They have Julia, Michin, Candice. I put Lash Legend here. I think she's definitely going to be on SmackDown going forward. Maybe it was just a one-off thing. Honestly, you could even make her a tag team with Nia Jax, but they're not feuding for the title right now, so I'm keeping them separately, even with their new like friendship kind of thing. They have B-Fab, Selena, and Kiana James to round it off. And then I don't really know what to do with these 4. Jeff Cobb, maybe put him in the US title, but it feels weird with Solo there. Then Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, Uncle Howdy. I just don't know what to do with, so I just keep him here in the other tab. And now lastly, for our options, I don't make too many changes. I keep intergender wrestling off, but if you want it on, keep it on. And then for the cash-ins, I'd keep them low, 1 out of 10 for all 3. I think it makes it the most realistic. You don't want it to be higher, because if it's higher, you'll get pretty early cash-ins. And it's more fun to drag out the Money in the Bank a little bit. Have some suspense for when they're going to cash in, that kind of thing. So that's why I have it as is. But for that is the updated Universe Mode Setup tutorial. This should be the last one of 2K25. I'll definitely have one when 2K26 drops in just a few months. Check that out. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.